All right, we clicked the old record button, and I'm not there yet. And oh my god, I already screwed it up. All right, well, we're just gonna keep recording because I'm not gonna not fix it. I was afraid this would happen, but there we go. That fade, though, I just can't get over how great and humble I am at fading. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix podcast. I am one of your lovely hostesses, the Garlic Johnson. I am joined by our other lovely hostess, the Joshua Mitchell. Josh, you know what to do.
Howdy, folks.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is that the first howdy ever?
Ever in the history of forevers.
We're incredible. We're the greatest podcast of all time.
Dear Guinness.
I don't know why I thought that was so funny. All right. So we have an email address you can send emails to if you ever want to talk to the show, hiddenoaksoverdose@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/hoodpod. We love when you reach out to us. I usually post in a timely manner before we record. Did not do so today. In fact, I'm going to go open Facebook right now to see if anyone commented on it. Probably not, because I posted it within like the last 2 hours. Nope. The city of Blaine, Minnesota government added an event that might interest me, so that's sick. Thanks for that notification, Facebook. We have the segment start times down in the description below, and we'll have new is on a big fan of those description start times coming up in just a second. But before we get there, I have to thank our lovely illustrator, Jesus, Levi Oakey.
Jesus drew it?
Jesus, well, it's certainly inspired by Jesus. I mean, look at us, Josh. We were chiseled.
Maybe.
Anyways, Levi Oakey Illustration is his Instagram handle. Levi Oakey, thank you so much for the beautiful art that all our fan can see right now. Josh, how you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right as well. It's a busier week at work, but that also makes the time go a lot faster. So, you know, I'm already halfway done with the week, over halfway done with the week. Weekend's coming again soon, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about what the hell you were doing in your driveway there? I didn't want to ask you out there, so it could be good pod content, but what the hell was that? You look like you were ready for, I don't know, you look like it was Chernobyl or something with that mask on.
Well, yeah, I got it's a tool cart that Nikita and I are going to repurpose into a bar cart. And you had made the comment, why not just buy a bunch of new stuff and, you know, make it look old? Because that costs money. This was free. And yes, I may have spent the money to buy that respirator, the goggles, the gloves, but cancer lasts a lifetime. And that's what I'm going to get from that lead paint if I don't have those things. So basically what I was doing is, the story behind that is my grandpa and grandma moved, and in their shed, garage, whatever you want to call it, they had a bunch of really cool old things, and that was one of them. And Nikita and I both wanted it so we could turn it into a bar cart. It's covered in lead paint, covered in grease and oil, and God knows what else kind of toxins. And the last time I touched it with my bare skin, I got a rash that lasted for a couple hours. So I decided to go all out. And the last thing I want to do is eat paint chips and become Bradley. So
yeah, I mean, that's fair. You got safety first.
Yep. So that's what I was doing. Just kind of taking it apart right now because I figured it would be easier to strip all that paint off and clean it and refinish it when it was in separate pieces instead of one giant frickin' lunk of wood.
A lunk, huh? Not a lump, a lunk.
Lunk, because it's a lump of junk right now.
A lunk, ladies and gentlemen. Not only did we have the first howdy ever, we invented a word on the podcast.
I think that's the first time it's ever happened on a podcast.
God, we are incredible. Speaking of how great we are at podcasting, I know some of our core fans don't give a shit, and Josh seems to be annoyed when we talk about it in length, but We would be remiss if we didn't mention the historical event that was the Podcast Wars. We've already won the Podcast Wars, but a couple interesting tidbits out of the Walters podcast this week. First of all, or not the Walters podcast, excuse me, the A-Dub podcast. I mentioned Walters because he didn't even put out a podcast yet. I don't know. He put out 3 last week and so far 0 this week. That man is snoozing.
He's getting ahead of the game here. He's doing 3 weeks at it, three at a time for 3 weeks in advance. So he just guessed.
Okay. Speaking the reason I started this Behind Enemy Lines, Josh, I genuinely don't know if you know this, but Walters and I did like an impromptu podcast on Saturday, and we posted it to both our channel and his channel. Don't know if you knew that.
Absolutely not.
Well, it happened. I talked to Walters about stuff. Hey, I almost don't want to make this joke, but I think our fan will be okay with it. I showed up to Walters' house thinking it was like a Make-A-Wish type deal, and I was like, yeah, we'll hang out with this kid for a little bit, but turns out there's nothing fucking wrong with Walters. He's just Walters. So,
is that enough?
Is it?
I'm gonna take a moment of silence so we can enter Alex's answer here. Push the yeah button.
Which, the PA yeah button?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I don't know which one it is. I got it. Boom.
Yes! It's enough. Yeah. Coaching tree. Are you planting a tree in your backyard?
No, so would you say, just you understand how coaching trees works, the concept of them, would you say in the world of podcasts, we are part of Alex Williams' coaching tree?
No.
Okay, that was my stance as well, because we had never podcasted under or with
we
Alex.
did as a guest.
Correct. I was going to say we've been guests, but we've never been like a part of his staff. So
right.
To say we're part of his coaching tree, that was bad.
Is Larry Fitzgerald part of the Minnesota Vikings organization tree because he was a ball boy for them in 1940?
I think that's a little different. Because did he get paid to do that?
I don't know. He touched balls.
So he wouldn't be part of the coaching staff. He would be a Vikings alum. Anyways, so I know you want to keep moving. Mr. 2000 heard about our fantasy fun time at the end of their pod. He didn't realize that was a segment of ours, and he said he chose the wrong pod. And so it sounds like there's some disgruntled employee there. It sounds like he's looking for a trade, or maybe A-Dub might just release him if he can't contain him.
Sazin is a free agent after this season, so we may be able to outbid. So I would definitely like to get the multicultural status of this Sazin character. Just because we are getting absolutely belittled by the Rooney rule.
Well, Josh, I mean, 2 Scandinavian white guys isn't enough for you? Come on, diversity.
I guess. No, you're right.
I mean, that was it. Also, they started their own segment called Studs and Duds, which good for them.
Wait, that sounds original. Never heard that before.
And it's not like we've ever stolen anything from them. We're going to stop talking about the podcast war now again because we won. But speaking of not stolen segments, this next segment we're going to hop into Hot Takes, brought to you by Strawberry Arnold Palmer. And Walters also announced he really liked when I spoke out loud the segment start time that I'm writing down with pen, just the same way you do. 6:13, go fuck yourself. Hot Takes, Josh. My hot take of the week. We're going to have 3 NFC North playoff teams in the playoffs this year. It's going to be the Pack, the Vike, and the Lions.
I like it. I had something typed up, but it was something super stupid. Last week I had the whole Cam Newton wearing normal clothes. I think I just typed up NFC North will have 3 playoff teams wearing normal clothes.
Genius.
Just because, recycled jokes are my thing.
Right.
But no, I didn't want to write my own down because I think that we are back in the NFC North being the best division of football.
We are the only division of football with 4 teams with a winning record.
Yeah, and the only losses came from within the division.
It's true.
And it's unfortunate that Green Bay has to be the bully and handing those losses out, but
Yeah. Yeah, you're correct. I was like, the Lions lost, but no, the Lions never lost. They tied.
The Lions have not lost.
They're
Lions,
undefeated.
There are 2 undefeated NFC North football teams and 2 pathetic loser football teams in this division.
You are one pathetic loser. I would push the sound. I really need to streamline the soundboard so I don't have so many. Anyways.
Kaya ate mine. Well, no, I have some of them over here. She was over here eating a sheet of paper once, and I was like, it's a podcast. It doesn't matter.
Okay. So did you have a hot take or no?
Nope.
Okay, thank you for participating in this segment. Next segment, definitely not starting at 9:55. See, I didn't say it that time, Walters. I didn't say it out loud. NFL news, Josh. What do we got?
I have a mouthful of goldfish right now.
All right, I know I'm currently record the podcast in your house. I'm thinking about trading you for Sousen.
That's fine.
How big of a handful did you take? Your mouth is still full, and it's been at least 30 seconds. Are you just not chewing and just moving your lips, smacking your lips back and forth?
It's part of the bit, Garlic. Just go with it.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'm Ricky Bobby. Christmas is right around the corner. And what better gift to give a loved one than this Jackhawk 9000? Available at Walmart.
Was running an ad fast?
Absolutely. So this week, we haven't been doing a whole lot of news. We've been doing fantasy related news. I only wrote one injury down, even though I know that there were some players that got banged up. I'm only going to talk about Saquon. He was most likely the number 1 overall draft in most people's drafts, unless you are in a taco league.
Hey man, I would have taken Christian McCaffrey first overall in our league.
Actually, I would have too, but we took Saquon, Geet and I, in her family league. But that's just because they get bonus for everything. So we figured he'd have more opportunities for long runs. But yeah, so that's the only injury I want to talk about. I mean, there were some people that got banged up. I know Edelman's questionable. Djax is questionable. Jeffrey, I think, sounds like he's going to play. But for the most part, Saquon's a big one. And then the not injury one I saw that you added, and I was definitely going to talk about, was the third string running back in Los Angeles for the Chargers, Melvin Gordon. He is now returning from his holdout.
Allegedly, yeah. I mean, the little update we both got says that he's not going to play this week, but he plans on rejoining the team and being in the fold. So Austin Eckler, his stock is plummeting, not because he's bad. He's proven he's great, but the team's probably going to give Melvin Gordon those touches, or they're just going to go to a complete 50-50 system with Justin Jackson's stock plummeting even lower. So while they're good backs, they would do great on any other team, but in this situation, I mean, you got to believe they're going to give the rock to Melvin, whether he deserves it or not.
Yeah, no, you would think that, and I definitely agree. I think it'll be a 50-50 split just because Eckler's got a hot hand right now. So why would you get rid of it? You're not going to just quit him cold turkey. And then at the same time, though, most people, you would hope that most people handcuffed them. They got Eckler if they drafted Gordon.
You would hope so.
Unless you were in one of those late drafts where Eckler went before Gordon, and then the Gordon owner is sitting there just like, yes. Yeah.
All right, stop. Okay, I appreciate you actually stopping. All right, we'll just move on then. All right, so not writing anything down in particular right now. Week 3 Homer results, Josh. I happen to be listed here first, so I'll just
go ahead, bud.
That sounded like a little Minnesota nice. Do you want to go first, Josh? You can go first.
No, absolutely. Your name's on there first. Well, your team name, I guess, and your team is listed first. So go ahead. I'm gonna eat more goldfish. Talk long.
I'm not going to talk long. So Vikings beat Oakland 34-14. Anyone who listens to this pod would know that at this point. The run game was strong. We had over 200 team yards, I think three rushing touchdowns. Kirk was sufficient, 15 for 21, 174 yards and a tutter. And it wasn't like that was a garbage time tutter. That was the first score of the game. I think it was on the third or fourth play. He threw a 55-yarder to Adam Thielen. So Kirk looked all right. Another picture-perfect example of what Zimmer wants this team to be. We pound the beef, like Pat Elflein likes to say, and we controlled the clock. We tired down the defense, and winner, chicken dinner. The end.
This is a legit question. This isn't just me picking on Kirk Cousins like I like to do.
Sure.
His touchdown to Thielen, because I was watching the Packers game on my laptop, and I just had that on in the background.
Wrong. Okay, but continue. The mic didn't pick that up. You got it.
It's not wrong, Gar.
Okay. Anyways.
But was that touchdown to Adam Thielen? That was on a short pass where Thielen just did all the...
Incorrect.
No? Okay. Okay. That's fine. No, and looking at his stat line alone, 174 yards. That's, not a lot. But at the same time, he didn't turn the ball over, and they still won. So, yeah, I would say it's a good overall game. Good team win for Minnesota there.
shut up and talk about the Packers.
Packers dominated. I'm pretty sure Goodell just started engraving the Lombardi Trophy with Green Bay on it. No, they won 27-16 against the Denver Broncos. I found it interesting. Rodgers was hit once all game, not sacked, just hit. And yeah, it was just like that because Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, come on, they please,
Please.
But they also, Denver is 3 weeks in, and if I were to tell you 3 weeks into the season, not Nick Chubb, Bradley Chubb and Von Miller would have 0 sacks, and
Nick
Denver
Chubb also has 0 sacks.
He's tied with Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. That entire team has 0 sacks all year. They're the only team without a sack. So
Maybe they should grow one.
yeah, we need one of those.
Drum and cymbal.
Note to Garlic, when you listen to this later, play a drum and cymbal sounder or download one and put it in the podcast.
I will not do that.
Okay. But yeah, so, I mean, he was hit once. The defense struggled against the run, and they have lately. But they had 6 sacks and 3 takeaways. Jair Alexander is a baller. He may not know how to catch he may have, oven mitts on his hands whenever a pass comes his way, but he is a baller. He had, passes defended. He forced a fumble and recovered the fumble. And then we had 2 picks. So I was happy overall with the defense. The offense was stale again, but it did have moments where it shined. I don't know. I wrote shone, but
shine bright like a diamond, Josh.
Exactly. My friend Ree told me that. Was it Rihanna or Beyonce that said that? Nikita, tell me later. But yeah, so the offense was stale, but it was raining. Garlic, you may want to get the oh my god, or I don't know. Do we have a surprised sounder? I haven't looked at the sounders in a while.
I don't know if it's a surprise. I have
Well,
this.
Jack, here's the deal. I'm the best there is. Plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur. I saw that interview too. Yep. So hang on. Aaron Rodgers. Oh, you move fast. Aaron Rodgers is not the same Aaron Rodgers he was in 2011. He's better.
Okay, tell me why.
Well, Garlic, you may not know this because you do not drink of the alcoholic beverage,
You got me.
but everything gets better with age. Scotch, whiskey, cheese. Tell me, Wisconsin, what is it known for? You are correct. Drunken cheese eaters. He's getting better with age. He's just playing the slow game right now. Wrong button. It's a Chris Farley one.
Okay, you're looking for this one.
I was checking the specs on the end line for the rotary girder. I'm retarded.
Could also be this one. Oh, no. Oh, come on, baby girl.
Seem like a bunch of losers in Minnesota.
It's not playing, Josh. It's not playing.
No,
Hit 7 on your keyboard.
But I will say that he did struggle a bit. And it's 1 week, meh. 2 weeks, meh. Both solid defenses. But this week he had some passes where it's just like, what the hell are you doing? And while he hasn't turned the ball over yet, he's not as pinpoint accurate as he was before. So yeah, I would say he's definitely not in the prime that we're used to, but I would still call him an elite quarterback because you're gonna want him to have the ball in the fourth if you're down. I mean, that's just what it is. But that's really all I have to say on that. I almost threw up saying it. I don't want that. There we go. But it's only week 3, and I lost my train of thought. Week 3 watchable moments. What other games did you see?
Well, so Josh, is a very interesting question. I did not watch a lot of games, but just kind of going over the scores and seeing what games I could write down for this, because I did a little editing of the notes myself last night. I was like, Minshew, so that was the Thursday night game almost a week ago. Minshew held on. If anyone saw the opening drive of that game, Jaguars went out there, went 3 and out, but then they recovered a punt fumble, and they got the ball right on the goal line, and they scored, and the game was over at that point, essentially. So good for them. Chargers lost. I watched that game. That was depressing. Indy held off Atlanta. Looks like it came down to the end. KC, their offense is unstoppable. Detroit steals a road win against Philly. Kyle Allen is God. Danny Dimes plays well and gets a little lucky at the end. That missed field goal helped him out, but he played good enough to get to that point. Teddy Two Gloves got it done for now. And then the 49ers, I know you're not a big Jimmy G fan, but they're 3-0, whether it's Jimmy G's if he's helping or not. Josh, they're 3-0.
Yeah, no.
What I'm hearing is Jimmy G and Aaron Rodgers, both 3-0 quarterbacks, are the exact equivalent of each other. They're perfect equals. This is the part where Josh storms away. If we had a video pod, that bit would have been so much better. But
I thought there's a little camera on my computer.
Well, that's certainly recording you, but not for the podcast.
Yikes.
So I just kind of went through a list of notes there, Josh. I don't know if you saw any other games, anything you want to call out?
No, I mean, I don't think I watched much more football than Sunday because I was still recovering from the weekend. I got very little sleep. It was Ben's bachelor party. Ben got very little food in his system.
Ladies.
And so I had a bit of a rough go. I kind of relaxed after that.
Little RELAX.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So preview week 4.
God, I'm never. You think as a guy who's done this for as long as I have would be ready, but I'm never ready.
6, 7, 8, 9 years.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so Vikings again are listed first. We play Chicago, 3:00 game, 2-1 teams. And so there's not really a segment in this show for me to just talk generally about the Vikings. So I'm going to hijack the preview to just kind of generally speak about the Vikings as well. I wrote down a couple notes. So what the first thing I wrote down is that the Vikings, while they've looked good twice, they need to do more than win cushy home games to get into the playoffs this year and to make a run. So we've beat the Atlanta Falcons and the Raiders at home. We lost to Green Bay on the road. We play Chicago on the road this week. So let's just look at the remainder of our home games first. We have the Eagles. That game is not, a walk in the park, but is winnable. We play the Redskins. We better win that game. We play the Broncos at home, should win that one. Play the Lions at home, we should win that one. And then our last 2 home games are Green Bay and Chicago. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we lose one of those, because why not? So that right there puts us at 7 wins just based on winning home games. We play the Giants on the road, which, again, that's not a walk in the park anymore. Danny Dimes looks all right. So that puts us to 8 wins, assuming we beat them. And 8 wins is not good enough to get us in the playoffs. So we're going to have to steal some road games here. Hopefully we can get it done in Chicago this weekend. If not, we play at Detroit week 7. Hopefully. We play at KC. We're not going to beat them. We play at Dallas on Sunday night. Not going to win that game because it's Kirk Cousins. We play at Seattle on a Monday night game. Won't win that game. We play Sunday night again at the Chargers. We won't win that game. So as optimistic as I am looking at this team, I don't see us winning many road games, and certainly not late in the season. So I don't know. I wanted to rant about that for a bit. We'll see. On the brighter side of things, I'm not overly concerned about Kirk Cousins. His bad Green Bay game is just, you don't want to say you don't want to just shrug it off like, it happens. But again, Kirk Cousins is not that top tier Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers quarterback. He is the Cousins line. He has replaced Andy Dalton as the median of the league. So games like that are going to happen. Games are going to get away from you. If it's a continued, prolonged thing, that's terrible. But one bad game a season is not going to kill you. The last thing I wrote there is a team so fragile that it couldn't overcome one gaffe, specifically that interception he threw, in the fourth quarter. You're not meant to make a deep Super Bowl run. Certainly, you could say he lost us the game, but if we're in that position where one player in one play can lose us the game, we're not a very good team. So that's all I have to say. Hopefully, we beat Chicago. I know I didn't talk much about the matchup, Josh, but you have some notes about the matchup. Go for it.
Yeah. So I just said, some things to watch and some things that, keep an eye on for the game. Most people are going to be watching Cook because he is the offense. I don't think anybody at this point would argue that it's Cook 1, Thielen 2, dear God, don't throw an interception 3. And that is a joke. And so Chicago's run D, I think, is second or third in the league. I think they're averaging 67 yards, something like that. Delvin Cook is a leading rusher, so force meets immovable things with objects. I don't know. Phrase.
Nailed it.
That's kind of what that game's all about. So I'm excited to watch that game. Nagy has some tricks up his sleeves. It's early in the season, divisional game. Probably a little bit bitter about losing to Green Bay. Probably a little bit bitter about having Mitch Trubisky as a quarterback.
It's a brutal life.
So, some trickery there. And then special teams play, because both these defenses are solid. So I think that it's going to be a field position battle. So I think special teams is going to be a big factor here. So punting, pinning them deep, field goals. I could see this game coming down to a field goal. That's how I feel.
Hopefully it's not a field goal for us to make, but a field goal for them to miss.
There you go.
Otherwise we're doomed.
Yeah, so Thursday, we've got Philly at Green Bay. The Philadelphia Eagles come to Green Bay at 1-2. Green Bay is coming off of a strong victory against Denver. They are sitting at 3-0 and to top the division.
To top the division?
I'm retarded. Things to watch, offense for both teams. Philly, so I wrote down some stats on here. Philly's allowed 57 rush yards per game compared to Green Bay's 130. But I would say that, Denver's run game is a little bit stronger than Philly's, and Minnesota's run game is a lot stronger than Philly's. I don't know how Chicago did. Chicago had some decent runs in there, but so 130 yards after 3 games, it's a lot. But 57 after 3 games, I don't know if that's just the talent. I don't know what teams they played. Green Bay's allowed 200 pass yards per game compared to Philly's. And so Philly's allowed 300 pass yards per game. So this might be the time for Aaron Rodgers and the receivers to get on track, just because it's been 8 rough quarters in 3 games. I would say that they've had 4 decent quarters. The one quarter last week, the fourth quarter, just mostly because it was hand the ball off and don't fumble. So decent quarter.
I've heard that game plan before.
Offensive line versus struggling pass rush. They've had 2 sacks in the 3 games this season. So Green Bay's offensive line, they need to keep it going. Green Bay can't let Philly run on them. If they hold them to 100 yards less, take advantage of injured wide receivers because they're struggling. Nelson Aguilar is your number 1. Yikes.
Yeah. I don't know if that was you concluding your thoughts.
It was.
Okay.
Oh, and that segment was brought to you by the undefeated and still ever delicious Spotted Cow.
Beautiful. So that means we're moving on here. So we had the week 3 watchable moments as a segment. So I figure why not do the same thing for the other moments we're excited about week 4. So I have come up with what I think is a pretty good segment name.
I was gonna give you mad props until I saw they weren't capitalized.
Well, yeah, I'm also lazy. So right now we're bringing you the new segment. This isn't good. So it's not going to be week 4 all the time. But right now we're talking other week 4 Tingles and Jingles. We got a little tingly in our jingly, or a little jingly in our tingly, however you want to look at it. So these are the other moments in the upcoming week that we're excited about. So the ones I wrote down is, can Detroit get the ultimate steal? Just because I think Detroit's kind of surprised a couple teams, beating the Chargers and then beating Philly in Philly. So Josh, can Detroit steal KC? Can they get that win?
I don't know.
I was waiting for this. No.
Last year, nobody thought they'd beat the Patriots, and they beat the Patriots. This year, no one thinks they're going to beat KC, and they're going to beat themselves, and KC is going to kick their ass.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
No, I don't think they'll win. I'm interested. I hope I can watch that game, though. Hopefully it's a noon game and I can watch it. The Vikings don't play till 3:25, so hopefully. Carolina at Houston, just to see if Kyle Allen can play, I think, a better caliber team than the Cardinals, see what he does. And then Dallas, New Orleans. I'm excited for that one. It's in New Orleans, so even though Dallas certainly comes in as the better team with Drew Brees out, it's a hostile environment, certainly. We'll see what Teddy Two Gloves can do at home.
Yeah, no, I agree with all those games. Obviously I'm excited for the Packers, but the only other game that I care about watching is the Vikings and Bears because it is division. So within the division games, usually pretty fun.
That's true. All right, man, moving on yet again. Let's talk about some locks and some upsets, Josh. We We only have one perfect team remaining, and it's probably not the person you want to be perfect still at this point in the locks and upset season. Do you know who is the perfect team?
I do.
Who is it, Josh?
Don't want to say.
Okay, well, it is our dear friend Jalen Swanson, a man we have never met in real life. We've played Madden against many a time. He's in our Hidden Oaks Dynasty League. And after 3 weeks, he's got the perfect 9. It's incredible. Everyone else fell off. T, me, Jordan, Kyle, Brian, Walters, Josh. We all fell off the bandwagon. We missed our opportunity at the and Nikita. Oh no, Nikita was done after week 2. But we all fell off the bandwagon. We did not get our picks right. It's a brutal week, but so Jalen's atop the leaderboard. Last week, Josh, you and I were both let down by Arizona not defeating Carolina. I don't think anyone foresaw Kyle Allen doing what the hell he did. Still don't even know if that's a real person.
That's like one of those generic names they give you in Madden.
That's correct.
The quarterback.
Another upset that upset some of our participants was Atlanta over Indy. That, of course, did not happen. And Pittsburgh did not upset San Fran. This week, Josh, who you got?
I've got the Chargers over Miami. Shocker. Am I allowed to do that?
Did you have Miami losing last week?
No, but Nikita and I were talking about it, and she said she thought it was 2 weeks prior.
No, it's just the last week, yeah.
Okay, so then I have the Chargers over Miami, and then my upset is Tennessee beating Atlanta. I think Atlanta, their defense, they're losing pieces left and right. Matty Ice is just Matty Rice, just throwing rice around. I couldn't think of a word that rhymed with ice.
Matty Rice, nailed it.
And then Tennessee, they did well last week, so I'm just going to roll with them. I was toying with Jacksonville over Denver as well. That's actually, you know what? I'm going to do an on-pod switch.
Whoa!
I am switching to Jacksonville over Denver because Gardner Minshew is my hero.
Yeah, I mean he's the meme lord of the league, but he's also he's undefeated, I think. So, or no, he lost to is he undefeated?
As a starter, he is.
As a starter, he is. Okay, so he lost. The game.
No, I don't know. I just don't listen to me. I'm bad.
They definitely lost to Houston. I can tell you that. I think Gardner Minshew started that game. Anyways, so Josh, thank you for asking who I got for the locks and upsets. I picked Baltimore over Cleveland because I have still yet to pick the cliche Miami loss. So I'm still holding out on that. I will pick it eventually, I promise, but I didn't want to do that. So I put Baltimore over Cleveland as my lock. I think that's pretty safe. And then, so no one else can see this, but I was looking at our upsets board, and we have a core set of people that get their locks and upsets in early. Jalen gets it done early just because I think he likes to. And then we have kind of the core 5 of the pod: you, me, Eric's, Nikita, and Walters. And the only 2 upset picks were either Tennessee over Atlanta or Jacksonville over Denver. And I was like, fuck that. I don't want to be a sheep. So my upset is going to be New Orleans at home over Dallas.
That was one of the ones that crossed my mind too. I had 3 in there, and that was the bottom of that 3 of that list. But no, I think that's a safe pick. Teddy showed that he could be a game manager. Alvin Kamara, solid. That defense is pretty good as well. So Dallas going into New Orleans, they've been having a great season, but Zeke struggled last week a little bit. And I don't know if you consider...
He definitely did not struggle last week against Miami. They just benched him.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's not the same thing as struggling.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
No, he struggled to see the field. Rolled his ankle, ate some pork rinds, that kind of thing.
Whatever you say.
But no, I think that's a good pick. It's definitely a ballsier pick than Jacksonville over Denver or Tennessee over Atlanta, but, do what you want.
I will.
I just noticed Eric's and Nikita had the same lock and upsets as if they were colluding at work today, but Eric's lives in upside down land via.
Well, they're in the northern hemisphere, so if that's the same hemisphere as us, it wouldn't be upside down.
Wrong sidey lefty?
We'll go with that one. They probably do righty-loosey over there like a bunch of fucking idiots.
Oh, God. Next thing you're going to do is tell me that their toilets flush counterclockwise?
Nope. Again, that would be Australia, not Latvia.
Wait, Latvia's in the northern hemisphere?
Yeah.
Which state,
right next to Russia.
State is it in?
It's in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
God, I hate you so much.
I always thought that everything, since USA is so much better than everybody that it's just above everything, and everybody else is the Southern Hemisphere.
We like to think so, certainly. But in fact, that's not the reality.
Oh, wow. That's
Disappointing, I know.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sure we could do something about that. I'm sure some scientists could like pick up the country and have us like hover over the North Pole or something.
Over. Wow. Public education at its finest. All right, we've ranted long enough.
Josh, I want you to give us the little intro jingle for this next segment.
What's the next segment? It's week 4. It's week 4. It's time for fantasy fun time. Pew.
Nailed it. That was beautiful. I can't cut that and make that the
Hang on, America's Got Talent is calling me.
So a little quick digression. Has T ever shared with you that clip of Dr. Disrespect who like picks up like his flip phone while he's streaming? Do you know who Dr. Disrespect is?
I know who he is, but no, he has not shared it with me.
Oh, it's a funny clip. I'll share it with you afterwards. But it's like he's just sitting there streaming, and then a flip phone is ringing. He picks it up. He goes, "Nike, this is the 2-time champ." It's just the conversation's hilarious. Anyway, sorry. That was a digression that no one else cared about but us. Fantasy fun time, of course, always starts with a grain of salt, and mine is kind of like last year, getting more and more bitter over time. This week in fantasy, in my 8 leagues, I went 3-5, continuing to get worse. I went 6-2, then 4-4, now 3-5. I'm moving in the wrong direction, folks. My overall record is 13-11 with a winning percentage of just over half at 54.17%. Josh, please throw me a lifeline. I can't do this again. I can't suck in all my leagues.
Well, I feel bad because I handed one of them L's.
You did hand me one of them L's. You also handed me one of them W's, Josh. I didn't know if we were going to go
I had
there,
to even it out, but I struggled as well. So I started off the season 4-1, and then 3-2, and then this week I went 2-3. I won in 2 redraft leagues, lost in 1 because Saquon got hurt, and then I lost in both the dynasties. It's kind of a struggling week, but I'm undefeated in the Hidden Oaks redraft, and I somehow won in the Victoria's Secret against Jordan, who was him and Alex were the only 2 undefeated teams, so now it's just Alex. Shout out to Al. And so I went 9-6. I'm 9-6 overall between my 5 leagues. Sitting at 60% win percentage. A little bit better than you, but still not as high as I'd hope to be. I'm just happy I won in the redraft league. That trophy looks really good on top of my bookcase. It doesn't have any books on it because I can't read.
Go tuck yourself in, Josh.
All right.
This next bit's yours.
Top performers of the week.
You're nailing it.
QB, Russell Wilson, 41.3 points. He had, I think, 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing.
I think he had 2 rushing.
Did he? Oh, well.
I think.
I didn't write stats down. I just wrote points. Daniel Jones, 34.2, and then Patrick Mahomes with a measly 27.9.
What a fucking loser.
Right? Didn't even get 30. Kamara had 37.1. Mark Ingram, he's still alive, 35.5. And then Philip Lindsay with 29. Wide receivers this week, they went off. There was like 6 of them above 30. Mike Evans with 45. Keen Allen, as my wife likes to call him. Keen. Her boy Keen.
And Kale.
43.6. And then Cooper Kupp, 33.2. Leading me to victory. Tight ends,
you,
Darren
Cooper
Waller, 27.1.
Boy.
Yep. Greg Olson, 25.5. Apparently they allowed him to bring his wheelchair out there this week. And then Austin Hooper, 24.6. Haven't heard his name on here yet. What do you think about that list? See any names on there that just kind of stick out, like Daniel Jones? Does Daniel Jones stick out, Gar? Why is Daniel Jones on this list? Who the hell is Daniel Jones?
Josh, that's Danny Dimes to you, sir.
Danny, who coined that nickname?
Don't worry about it, Josh. Danny Dimes it shall be.
Is it
on
Danny
Earth
Dimes
as it is in
because
heaven.
after he comes back down to reality, he's going to be making dimes on the corner?
Sure. I don't
All
care.
right.
It's Danny Dimes. Just deal with it.
All right. Studs and duds, who you got? Actually, we need to do the recap. Who did you have?
Last week I had Peyton Barber as the stud. Was not Studley. Came in 4 points under his projection. I had Nick Chubb as my dud, which technically he was. He was projected 17.2. He scored 17.1. 1. Suck it, nerds.
There was actually a stat correction. He had 18.1. One of his was actually a catch.
Well, not in the sheet, Josh.
I'm just kidding. I actually don't. I'm going to check because I thought it was 18, but it's whatever. I'm just going to stall a bit here. You can go ahead and read Eric's.
All right, last week Eric's had Derrick Henry as the stud, and nope, was not. He came in .3 under his projection. Adam Thielen as the dud. Again, nope. He was projected 14.6 full PPR, and he got 20.6. Did you find what you wanted to, or should I keep going?
I found it, and we're just going to ignore what I said. I had Tyler Boyd as a stud, who was technically not. He scored 12.7. He was projected 12.8 for -0.1. And then I had Mitch Trubisky, who was 16.8 projected. He got 19.4 for -2.6. But I will say, I did look at one point, and I think it was during the half. He was sitting at 26 points or something like that. So I don't know what happened. But he lost points because I'm sitting there. I was just like, this freaking Eli Manning, mouth-breathing, diaper-wearing quarterback is going to get 50 points when I projected him as a dud. But nope, he lost points for me. So I'm okay with the -2.6 differential there, considering it could have been worse.
Hold on, let me do your wife. Okay, we got
Whoa, whoa.
All right, Josh, that bit was brewing in my head for at least a minute 45 seconds. I was waiting for you to wrap the hell up so I could say that out loud. Your reaction was perfect. All right, meanwhile, as I do your wife, Dak Prescott was her stud, projected 21.7. He was technically a stud, got 22.5, so a 0.8 differential there. Michael Thomas projected as the dud. Again, Nikita was honing in on the 0.8 here this week. He was projected 17.2, actually got 16.4 for a positive differential in the dud of 0.8, so she came out of the week positive 1.6.
Which is, funnily enough, she's the only one to have both stud and dud projections right this week. So congrats, wife.
If the sound bit worked, I would currently play it, well, Lottie frickin' da, but it's not working, so that makes me sad.
Good. She was also the high scorer for this week with positive 1.6, so we're bad. The next highest positive scorer, actually, let's just go on. Who do you have this week?
Josh, you're not being very fair.
All right. The next highest scorer was Walters. He had Chris Godwin as a stud, who was not. He only put up 7 when he's projected 13.5 for -6.5. But
thanks a lot for making me lose to Josh Walters.
Right. But his dud was actually a dud. Le'Veon Bell put up 10.3 when he was projected 18.1 for a differential of 7.8. So he had positive 1.3. Going to the scoreboard on the season, this week was a little bit of a downer for all of us. Only 2 of us scored positive, but in the end, Garlic, you're still in the lead, 30.2 over Nikita, 10.9, and then coming in the middle, what? All right, Walters is in third with -1.9, and I am -2.2, and Eric's quit.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Good for you, but Eric's, you're at -24.9.
Yikes.
But yeah, no. Overall, I mean, he's getting better. Week 1, -9.4. Week 2, -8.2. Week 3, -7.3. So this week, he's going to get -6. By the time we get to the end of the season, he's going to have -160 points total.
Did you do that math in your head, or was that just complete bullshit? Because I'm genuinely curious if you're that quick.
Both.
Well, that's interesting. All right.
See, I can do the math in my head, but who says it's right?
I guess you have a good point. So, Josh, I do want to have just a quick second of a couples argument on the pod. So I know you're a man who believes in copy and paste, and I appreciate that about you. But if you will notice, your laziness has led me to see week 3 twice on this sheet.
And where? Yeah, I noticed that when we were reading the scores, but yeah, I just did that because I didn't want to have to retype anything.
You also did that on the complete agenda for the week, and I went in and fixed every single number.
Oh, thank you.
Because it bugged me.
Appreciate.
Anyways, this week I got Deontay Johnson as my stud. If you've never heard of him, position and team, he is a wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who you probably still won't hear of this week, but I'm hoping he does me some good. He's only projected 9.8. I think he will outscore that. As my dud, I got Devonta Freeman. Honestly, when I was going through the list, I did not find a dud I like this week. I think, everyone's kind of going to do what they're expected to do. I just don't like Devonta Freeman. I think they played Tennessee. I don't like the matchup, so... I usually try and pick my dud as a person who's projected pretty high. He's only projected 13.6, so we'll see.
Yeah, I went. It's going to happen at least once a year, possibly twice. I went with Josh Gordon as my stud, but I actually have reasoning behind it, and that is because he's projected 12.8, which I feel is low considering he scored more than that last week with when he came out the field injured twice. But he's healthy now. Julian Edelman's banged up. Antonio Brown is gone. Philip Dorsett is Philip Dorsett. And so I feel like Josh Gordon's he's going to have a decent game. They're going to be passing against Buffalo. And so that's my stud for this week. I'm projecting, 42 carry 473 points in the first quarter. No? All right.
I'm glad you didn't do your joke because I was waiting for you to say 432 points. And then the second quarter happens. I was going to punch you in the fucking face.
I said in the first quarter.
I know, which is better than doing like the lead up to the, and then I preferred it the way you did it, even though it's still a dumb joke.
All right. No, I'm actually saying, I think he's going to put up around 20 this week.
Sure.
My dud, it's actually a ballsy dud. I will admit it. But I'm going with the Bears defense.
As your dud, that's a good call.
I'm going with the Bears defense. And I don't know if you checked it earlier, but I had Delvin Cook / Stephon Diggs.
You sure did.
Because I couldn't decide between the two. And then Nikita texted me her picks. So I went Cook and she went Diggs. Spoiler alert. But Delvin Cook's projected 18. It's not that I don't think he's good. I just think that the Bears defense is good. They're going to come out there for a divisional game. Kirk Cousins they're going to try and make Kirk throw the ball. They're going to load the box. They're going to give him the AP treatment. Now, will he bust off for a 75-yard touchdown run on the first play and make me eat my words? Probably. But will he fumble 16 times after that? You're praying?
Oh, I'm praying that he breaks off that big play,
kidding.
yeah.
But no, so I'm banking on them just kind of containing him, not necessarily keeping him below 100 yards, but keeping him out of the end zone for the most part.
Sure, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't get a score, 18 will be hard to hit, I think, for sure.
Yep.
So I'll go next. I got Eric's. He did Keen Allen as his stud. 20.3 is the projection. We did get, sometimes Eric's provides comments, sometimes he does not. So Eric said, stud, Keenan Allen. Parentheses, apparently there is no one else who can catch the ball on that team, or Rivers seems to think so. Also, plays against Miami. So one quick note to Eric's. I know you're not the Chargers fan that I am, but this has been the case for many, many years. Keenan Allen has been a target whore / vacuum forever in that team, forever on that team, and the only time he is not is when he's broken something. So
right. If Keenan Allen wasn't injured, we'd be talking about him in like a top 5 wide receiver, I feel.
Certainly, yeah. So dud, we've got Todd Gurley is the dud coming out of Eric's. And I like the pick of the dud. His explanation here is purely based on his ridiculously high projections. But then again, all my duds exceed their expectations. So I want to give Gurley a nice game before his knee refuses to work anymore. So that's kind of thoughtful of Eric's,
Yeah, no, that's, I think Todd, as I call him, is going to be sending you a Christmas gift. Do they have Christmas in Latvia?
No, they don't believe in that, no.
Okay, he's going to send you a Krampus gift.
If they don't believe in Christmas, they wouldn't have a Krampus. All they have is Putin Day, and it happens like 14 days a year.
What the hell is Putin? Oh, Nick Putin.
Are you being serious right now?
The shortstop for the Minnesota Twins.
I really hope you're not
2000s?
being serious right now. Okay, all right. Thank God.
I'm going to do my wife, Nikita.
Whoa! Hey! Josh yelling at kids in his yard.
Nikita had Keen Allen, and she actually texted me Keen Allen.
Sick, dude.
Who, as we already know, projected 20.3, put up 40 burger last weekend against Miami this week. So, 20.3 is a very high it's a very high projection. I mean, but it's worked for her. She's gotten, hang on, let me go up to her. Ooh, except for week 1. But she's gotten her studs right week 2 and 3, and both of them are projected 19 and 21. So she's pretty good at these stud picks. Dud, she has Stephon Diggs. As I mentioned earlier, she was kind of thinking the same thing I was. Diggs has been, he hasn't scored 10 points all season.
I'm sure he did against Green Bay. I'd be pretty safe about that because he scored a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Bomb.
I forgot about that. But that was
points.
his only catch. So, yeah, it was about 10 points on the dot.
Had a second touchdown, depending on who you ask, but you know.
Right. So that is going to be her dud with 10.9 projection. As I said, I was debating on that one. I actually texted her great picks afterwards because I think
Wow, way to be supportive of your wife, loser.
I think Keenan Allen is going to go off, and I think Stephon Diggs is going to get shut down.
Cool. You know what? I don't want to get stuck with Walters, so I'm going to make you do Walters. I get stuck with Walters every week. You try being stuck with Walters every week.
Walters, he has DeAndre Hopkins as a stud, and while he is a stud, he struggled last week, but I think, he'll bounce back. 17.7 is his projection. Decent pick there. Alshon Jeffrey, 11.5 against Green Bay's defense. Assuming he plays, because I do know he's questionable.
I believe Alshon's a go. It's Deshaun Jackson who's not going to play.
Okay, so if he plays, Alshon Jeffrey's projected 11.5. I mean, I don't think Carson Wentz is going to hit 50 yards passing. So, I'm just kidding. I think that's a solid pick because he's going to be the only wide receiver they cover, I think, because Nelson Aguilar drops everything. At least that's a joke that people continue to run with. And then the only other person that can catch the ball is Zach Ertz.
It's true, and you can catch it well.
You can.
All right, Josh, we have one last part of Fantasy Fun Time, and it's your created mini segment, Bold Predictions, fantasy related. What do you got?
Nothing. What do you have?
Really? You're going to create a segment and then just not supply it?
Well, it was just one of those if you think of something fancy, why not put it in? How about this? Gardner Minshew, Kyle Allen, and Daniel Jones, top 3 quarterbacks this week.
Well, we appear to have synced up our cycles because my bold prediction was going to be that Minshew lights up Denver this week. So we'll see, I guess.
Here's an even bolder prediction. 9 months from now, the most common male name for baby names
is Gardner. Gardner the second. Or Beowulf. Okay. All right. So that's going to end our fantasy fun time, Josh. We are moving on to the Redraft League results.
So side bet last week was immaculate reception. So wide receiver with the most receptions. Nikita won with Keenan Allen there. We got to the point where I thought maybe Cooper Kupp was going to get there. And then I was just going to say, you know what? Give it to Nikita. Because it ends up in the same bank account for the most part. Closest games, Garrett beat Willie by 1.8. And I believe I texted you at one point that Willie was just done for. And then he came back. So it was a close game. The biggest blowout, Hammer beat Nate by 66.1. I did add something, the Who Won segment. I don't want to go over what we said last week, but last week Garlic and I made our own predictions, and we were actually fairly close. I got 4.5 because I said we'd tie, and Garlic got 4. So yeah, we were fairly close out of the seven projections.
Matchups.
Yeah,
or 50%. I'll take it.
Yeah. So who do you want to? You want to start off this week? I guess the preview is for the side bet, which I texted out to the group, blackjack. So started closest to the 21 without going over. That is going to be what we are shooting for.
Josh? So let's just talk it out now. You have multiple 21-point scores. How are you going to break the tie?
That's a good point.
It didn't happen last year, as I recall. But I'm curious. How would you handle it?
I would say that the second. So between those teams. So if there's 3 teams. The next closest player to 21, so if they have 2 people at 21 exact, that person wins. But if it's like 21, 3 people have 21, 3 different owners have 21.
Okay, there we go.
And then they have another player on their team in their starting lineup with 19.6, 19.4, and 19.2. The 19.6 wins.
I think that's a good way of breaking the tie. The second closest player to 21. I like that a lot. Without going over, to be clear, this is blackjack after all.
Yeah, no. And you can only go over if you have the one guy in Mille Lacs when he was drunk and he was dealing, and you bust, and then he gives you the winnings anyways.
Hell yeah, brother.
True story. Yeah, you could start it off. I've talked too much. People hate my voice.
All right, week 4 preview. I already wrote down the segment start time a moment ago, but you know what? We'll just keep rolling with it. So, again, Josh likes to create this table, and I like to just read it from the ESPN list. Josh, I don't want to say you're doing pointless work, but if you like the table, please keep creating it. So anytime I'm in ESPN, my matchup's always first, so I'm going to not read my matchup first. I'll instead go down to the next one. Nikita and Jamie are playing each other. So actually, I want to do a little better
The
analysis
NFL has
on
games
this.
of the week. I would say this is the league's game of the week.
Nikita at Jamie. This is America's game of the week right here.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay, so I finally got the thing to come up. So we got Team Mitchell versus Sherlock Mahomes. Very creative team name there, Nikita. You're awesome. Jamie's projected to win 129.3 to 114.9. She has the advantage in all the positional battles, except for wide receiver 1, where Nikita has Keenan Allen over her, Julian Edelman, and then has Travis Kelce over Delaney Walker. Yeah, I'll keep saying it. Jamie's 3-0. She's first in the league. Nikita also 3-0. So this is the battle of the undefeated. To Josh's point, this is going to be the game of the week. Nikita, I love you very much, and I know you listen more regularly than Jamie, but I've picked Jamie to be in the ship multiple weeks in a row, and I got to keep, pounding that drum. I think Jamie will be in the ship, assuming Mahomes and McCaffrey are healthy, and I think you're going to lose.
Yeah, that's who I said was going to win anyways.
You don't want to, pound on your wife any more than that?
Nope, I pound her enough.
Sure you do, buddy.
I'm trying to find out where we're at. Okay.
I read the Jamie Nikita game.
Yep, I'm going to skip my game as you did and save the best for last.
Ooh. So next on the list would be T. Brian.
There's an ad? What is this?
That's the way she goes, Josh. We do not pay a cent for the ESPN site, so I mean, you could deal with a 30-second ad.
Yeah,
pretty inconvenient for live podcasting, or not live podcasting, but
you'd think putting up with their nonsense of a website. So we've got Big League Tyler T versus Skybusters, Nutbusters Brian Knupp. T is rolling in with a strong 0-3 record, going up against Brian's 2-1 record. Currently at this point, Brian is projected to win 111.9 to T's 95.3, but I believe T has a few guys on bye, or he has Jamison Crowder on bye. 56% probability towards Brian, but I forget who I wrote down. That's why I have.
You wrote down T.
I have T winning this game. I think T's going to actually pull this one off.
You're an idiot. If I can switch my fantasy bold prediction, it's going to be that T doesn't win a redraft game this year.
You can go ahead and bold predictions all year.
The team's that bad.
Well, I mean,
sorry,
yeah,
T.
but it's that bad. But everybody has a pity win every once in a while.
I'm not going to give
Just
him the
look at
pity
your
win.
roster.
Are you good? Are you fucking kidding me right now, Josh? Oh my god!
You already got your pity win out of the way.
Hopefully Brian's not listening. I've sworn up a storm this episode. He's gonna write us a mean letter. Okay, so T versus Brian.
Is he too old to use an email?
He is fun. We'll digress about Brian for just a second. So you know how I make everyone send me a screenshot for the locks and upsets every week? Brian is playing the old man.
Newspaper?
He's playing the old man card. I don't know how to screenshot. Go fuck yourself, Brian. Learn how to screenshot. I told Bradley to teach you, but Bradley's not very reliable.
No, he's not. Yeah, so next matchup.
All right, so we got the Walking Tacos versus the Fu Min Shu. So, Josh, this is your matchup with Derek. You're currently projected to win 119.8 to Derek's 108.8. Derek is not doing well in the redraft league this year. He's won this league twice, but he's 0-3. The only team he is better than is T. Josh, just looking at the advantage checks here, you have almost all green all the way through. He's got Philip Lindsay and Odell over you, and Greg Zerline, a kicker, la-di-da. Just looking at all the matchups here without going too deep. I don't want to pick Josh, but I'm going to pick Josh. God damn it. I know. I think Josh is going to beat Derek. Sorry, Derek. I'm going to see you continue to be defeated in this league. No wins.
All right, so moving on to the least important match of the week, we have Eastbound and Brown, Garlic, versus Breeze for Dreams, which I still don't understand that team name. I don't know if I brought it up in a previous pod. Breeze for Dreams.
Yeah, if that's a reference to something, I certainly don't get it.
It's probably a reference to like a 1974 Batman comic, page 3, that no one else would get.
Brad was never really a comic guy, as far as I know.
True. I don't know. But at this point in time, you are projected to win 112.2 to Brad's 104.3. It looks like the players have been updated. Yep. Your win probability is 54%.
Just something you want to say out loud, Josh? You want to share with the class?
No, I saw you put Daniel Jones in.
You're goddamn right, Josh.
Giving up on the Jimmy G experiment already, huh?
I mean, it's his bye week. I wasn't going to play him this week, and I've got 5 bench spots. I'm not going to carry Jimmy G on my bench. Excuse me.
That's true. But yeah, so I gave you the win on this one. I think that if Brad keeps Kirk Cousins in his lineup against the Bears, he's going to struggle. I don't think Leonard Fournette's going to do well against the run defense in Denver. Chris Carson's struggling with fumbling. Yeah, you're going to win.
Yeah, I'm currently in 9th in this league, but let it be known, here's another bold prediction. Danny Dimes is going to carry me to the ship. That silence is the correct reaction.
It is bold predictions, not impossible predictions.
Whoa, Josh. Never say never. All right, next matchup. We got Mac and Cheese versus Girls Rule Robin. Currently, Garrett is projected to win 116.5 to Robin's 84.4. Looking at the list here, it looks like Robin currently has 2 players in her lineup with no projection, so she did take the juice out of her lineup. She did see my passive-aggressive text last week when I announced the side bet winner and loser, so she did at least take the juice out. So, I mean, currently the projection's not going her way, but I still, even if she replaces those 2 players, I don't think it will. Like we said, preseason, her bench blows, so I'm giving this one to Garrett, no question. He's got the advantage in every category that isn't Baker Mayfield over Matt Ryan or Adam Vinatieri over Harrison Butker.
I had Garrett winning as well.
Yee-hoo!
Hang on.
So much originality.
Oh, I clicked the wrong button.
Dumbass.
So Jesse versus Hammer. Jesse's sitting at 2-1, currently projected 109 to Hammer's 118.7. He's sitting at 1-2. Looking at the matchup here, we have updated projections. Never mind.
See, Josh, that's why the website's nice.
It's the same projections. I was just looking at the wrong things.
Well, quit being a dumby.
I mean, it looks even across the board as far as matchups go. But I think I went and gave this one to Hammer.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're being rankings whores here, but Alvin Kamara, Darren Waller, he's got Wayne Gallman in the flex. He picked him up. Ravens defense against Cleveland. I mean, the only way Jesse wins this game is if Julio Jones and Mark Ingram carry him. And I mean, carry him. Being over, Jesse needs Mark Ingram and Julio Jones to be over 70% of his team's total score, and that's how he wins this week. Because those 2 need to go off. Otherwise, yeah, I'm going Hammer.
All right.
Last matchup, we got Willie, Le'Veon La Vida Loca versus Gold Team Rules. Nate in a solid 12th place, Willie in 7th, both 1-2. We got 109.4's Willie's projection, so he's going to be beating Nate here. Per the projection, Nate has 95, so 109 to 95. I don't know, Josh. Do I have to pick one here? I like Lamar Jackson. Nate currently has Saquon Barkley in his lineup. Obviously, that's going to have to change. But that was his crux. I mean, the first overall pick of the league. I mean, Lamar Jackson has really been helping him. He's the number 2 quarterback right now. But I don't see any other talent on this team that's going to tell me Nate's going to win. So I got to go Wilbert.
I went Willie as well, but it was tough. I think that Nate needs to adjust his lineup, maybe move Kenyon Drake up and then toss in a wide receiver in his flex. Hint, hint. I know you don't listen to this, but hint, hint. Yeah, I think Willie's going to get it just because Russell Wilson, Delvin Cook, and Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones is going to bounce back after last. I mean, he scored 15 last week, so it's not like he struggled, but he struggled. And then Josh Gordon's my stud, so obviously he's going to put up 475,000 points.
And I didn't even mention this during the projections. Willie currently doesn't even have a defense in, so that's at least another 4 points.
4 whole points!
I'm just saying, that makes a difference.
Actually, I think I put the defense in his lineup in my table that you made fun of.
Yeah, I mocked your table. What of it? You have him projected 117.8 in your table.
Yeah.
That's a sturdy defense. That's what, 8 points?
Well, yeah, look at his roster. Who's he got on the
child.
bench? Let's just see here. Just do. I mean, he doesn't have a kicker. He has a defense.
Is that what it is? Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, making fun of me and you don't even know how to read. Yeah, his kicker's Zane Gonzalez projected 8.3. So would that bring it up to what I wrote?
Josh, I don't know numbers, okay?
It's all right. Outro time. Write it down. 7:10 p.m.
Josh, I'm not going to write down 7:10 p.m. because that's just stupid. All right, Josh, do you have any final thoughts? I thought today felt like a good pod.
I think today was a little bit more in shambles than our previous pods, but I also think that it was a little bit more
What makes you say
lively.
It was in shambles?
I don't know. I just felt like I rambled and lost my train of thought quite a bit. Then again, what's the difference between the other pods that we do? Yeah, I think today was a decent pod. A lot of good energy. Didn't have a dog running around down here farting every 10 seconds. Odin. Shout out to Odin. Didn't have Kaya trying to eat the table. Shout out to Kaya. I texted my wife to start tater tots like half an hour ago, so hopefully them are good. I love me some tots.
Did you say tater tots, Josh?
Yeah, you're not invited to dinner.
Damn. Yeah, no, I mean, I was going to say, I guess I can't speak to your inner thought, so I don't know if you lost your thought while rambling a lot, but I thought it was a good pod. I thought it was pretty conversational. I definitely thought we were going to go very long, but, we kind of sped through the matchups at the end there, so we didn't take as much time as usual. We're currently sitting at 1 hour and 7 minutes as it ticks over here, so that's not crazy. I thought it was a good pod.
Good.
We're looking forward to the Packers losing tomorrow night to the Eagles.
False.
Oh, darn it. All right. Well, Josh, thanks for having me. Nikita, thank you for welcoming me into your home yet again.
Love you, Nikita.
Ryan Walters, appreciate you listening.
Love you, Walters.
Alex Williams, if you're out there.
Yeah, he's not listening anymore.
Not at this point of the pod, but allegedly he's listened to a few. So.
All right.
Eric's Kesterix, Eric Landvik. Haven't heard from Eric Landvik in a while. I think he might be dead.
Look at my pyramid.
Your pyramid, it's got a base of 4 with 1 can in the middle.
We're only in week 4.
Does that qualify as a pyramid? I'm pretty sure all those cans are from the last 2 weeks, though. Okay. So Jamie, Levi, Zach, Brian, if you all listen, love you. Kyle, Brad, I know you might listen every once in a while. Don't forget, hiddenokesoverdose@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Facebook.com/hoodpod.
First person to text me a funny joke gets $10 from Garlic.
No.
A funny joke.
Well, Josh, we don't have funny friends. Funny looking, maybe. We're going to get a text from Walters within the next hour, guaranteed. No, it will not be funny. Why is the music so loud today? Sorry if your ears were bleeding. Oh, Kaya, get down. Odin, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. I'm not here to give you belly rubs. That is not my purpose in life. Strawberry Arnold Palmer, you are so good. Arizona, sponsor me. Oh, man. What'd you win? Woo!